Going to be talking about a few things today. I'll get into my background, who I am and what I do and how I got to this particular point. But I will say I'll be back next week for that workshop. I don't even remember what workshop I'm doing next Saturday, but Angela said she got some. She wanted me to be there, so I'm gonna be there. So it is important to support the library. So Eric Hamilton, I am the president of Hamilton Sales Academy as well as Hamilton Estates, a real estate portfolio. But I want to jump right into it. I want to get to know you a little bit better as well. But I want to talk about why small businesses struggle. It's something we don't really talk about a lot. Most small businesses fail or struggle, and it's not because of lack of vision. It's probably not lack of the market, not because the market is downturning. It's usually due to lack of structure. It's usually because we lack structure, things begin to fall apart, cracks begin to show in our business. So what we're going to talk about today is how to eliminate those cracks that creep up on you. So part of what we're going to do is you should have a worksheet in front of you. We're going to go through that. But ultimately, we want to get to the point where, think about this. Why did you start your business? Let me see a raise of hands. Who started their business because they wanted financial freedom or just time freedom? Okay, a couple of you. Let me ask, how's that going? Freedom with time? How's that going? It's going all right? Going all right? Okay. How's it going? I haven't started yet. Okay. You mentioned, did you raise your hand on that one? No, sir. Okay. Okay. So a lot of people start looking for financial freedom or just freedom with their schedule. A lot of times we end up, because we lack discipline, we don't actually run our business. The business runs us. And we end up chasing, trying to figure out, why is it that I got this business on my own, but yet I have no time? I've got no money because I keep putting it back into the business. So we're going to talk about those things of why businesses struggle. So I mentioned great ideas. We got weak structure at times. That's one of the big reasons. Revenue without clarity. I'm going to dive into the 4 pillars. Everything that I do, I call it the blueprint. That's how I wrote my first book, which is called The Sales Blueprint. So I use everything as a framework. So today you will get a blueprint or framework for finances. We're going to talk about how to structure the business the right way. Expenses without tracking. I was guilty of this for so long. I'm going to give you a quick story. I bought my first duplex in 2001. That was a long time ago, goodness gracious. I bought it in 2001 when I was in college, and I was looking for a tax shelter. I asked my mom. She said the best way to get a tax shelter is to buy real estate. I didn't even know what a tax shelter was. But I bought my first property, and then I bought my second one. But here's the thing. I ended up buying a few properties. I was collecting rent. This is old school. I was going to the door. I was knocking on your door collecting rent. And I would take it, and I had cash. I had money. But the money wasn't going back into business. I was taking it doing other things. Oh, man, I got money for lunch. I got money to go out to the club or something. So I didn't have the right resources how I was handling the money. So I wasn't tracking the expenses properly. I wasn't tracking my revenue properly. I definitely didn't have a reinvestment strategy, and then I didn't have a rhythm. A lot of times we lack an operating rhythm. Now, I've been in sales for 25 years, sales leadership for 20, and I call it a sales motion. There's got to be something you're doing consistently on a daily basis. What is that motion? So I was talking to this young lady right here that had a Mary Kay business. And so there is a rhythm that she had. She got to the top. There's some kind of rhythm for top performers in whatever industry you're in. You want to begin to think about what is that rhythm. Now, so as I mentioned, you want your business to work for you, not you working for the business, right? All right. So let me give you a little bit about myself before we jump into this blueprint piece. So I'm originally from Kalamazoo, Michigan. So everything that I tell you is not from like a book. I didn't grow up with financial independence. I didn't grow up with financial literacy. All of these things that I learned the hard way is how I'm able to help entrepreneurs and businesses get started and begin to flourish. So this is not just coming out of a book. Yes, I have education. I got an MBA, but that is not where this came from. This is from hard work, taking some lumps and getting better. So I've done a few things, right? So I've been in sales leadership for a long time, 25 plus years. I authored my first book last year called The Sales Blueprint, What Winners Do Differently. And what I basically did is I took all the information that I had, all the education about how to become successful in sales, which is a process. I put all that information into a book. It was pretty easy to write because it was my information. But what the book did is it opened up some additional doors. I also took that and I spun off and have this Hamilton Sales Academy. So now I help entrepreneurs and help sales professionals become better at what they're doing, become more proficient at what you're doing. As a business owner, you're in sales, whether you like it or not. You're selling something. There's a market out there for something, you're selling something. So as I mentioned, I got a real estate portfolio, my wife and I, about 40 units or so. I've been on global leaders summits and all kind of good stuff. But the point of this is, I've got some credibility behind this. I've helped entrepreneurs continue to get to that next level. So with that, let's jump into it. All right, so mission clarity. So think about this. The mission and mechanics. So I would take a mission that's clear over mechanics. Now here's where this concept came from that blew my mind. So I work at this company. I still have a day-to-day job, a 9 to 5. So I'm not just an entrepreneur. I work for this organization, so I've got a mentoring session with our chief security officer. And he was at the FBI for 25 years. And I sat down with him and we had a conversation. He told me something that I now apply to my business and talk to folks about that blew my mind. So when he was in the FBI, he would bring people in, some of the new recruits and even some of his tenure people, and he would say, what is it that we do? Let me ask, what do we think the FBI does? If one were to ask you, what does the FBI do? Oh, shoot, I gave the answer on the board. Well, okay, I didn't know the answer was on the board. All right, so they would say, we target bad guys, which they do. They would say, we use these advanced tactics to go get. My wife watched FBI International and FBI and all this other stuff. She watches the tactics that they use. And he would say to them, no, our mission is to protect the American people. I was like, then I started thinking about what is my mission? Is it clear? Is my mission just to go and sell books? So I want you to think about something with that kind of clarity. Now it's your turn. Now here's what I want you to think about. Do not think about what you sell. Even though you sell something, if you are an entrepreneur, you're selling something. I don't want you to think about how you sell. I want you to think about your mission. What does your business actually do? Let me give you a couple of examples. Let's say you're in the hair care product business. What you're selling is confidence. That's what your mission is. You're bringing confidence to people, women, men. That's what you're doing. If you're a bookkeeper, if I'm an accountant, it's the peace of mind that happens when you hire me. For me, I create blueprints that create structure and ultimately get to financial freedom. Now, so take a couple of moments, and on that form that you should have, I want you to think about your business, think about your mission, and just write, my business exists to. Should be at the top. Just a clear vision of your mission. If you don't have a business yet, think about when I do get my business going, here is my mission. It has to be clear. Without clarity, we're chasing. I am going to give you true examples from companies like Apple. So it's not just hypothetical stuff. There has to be clarity on what your mission or your business is. So let me give you 60 seconds or so to review that.